I've seen this floated around a lot, and I've had conversations with, we have our guy in the back, Ryan, who's one of my good friends here at the network, and we go back and forth a lot. We argue a lot, even off the air, just in the back. And one of his favorite players in this draft to watch is, as many of you know, Anthony Richardson. And he's one of those hot commodities because I think people look at the physical tools he has, the size, the speed, the arm strength. And I got to give our boss Chad credit on this because he said this like a month ago in the chat. He said the Lions will draft Anthony Richardson. He wholeheartedly believed that. And now I'm seeing these conversations more and more about Richardson. It seems like he's floating up higher in the draft. Now, the question I have for you, because I want your opinion on this, because we haven't really talked about it too much, is your thoughts, A, on Richardson, and B, should the Lions pursue him? Because I think the biggest argument people have is, well, you have Goff currently. You can sit Anthony Richardson behind Goff. He can learn from the system, right? He has Ben Johnson for the time being until he's gone. You can sit behind Jared Goff, learn from Goff, and when it's time, Anthony Richardson can be your starting quarterback on a rookie contract. Now, the problem I have, and this is where I kind of shy away from the quarterback talk because I'm a big Bryce Young guy, but at the same time, the Lions now, you're 9-8. There's a window the Lions have right now. If we're talking about them being contenders, you got to add immediate impact players. And that's kind of where I shy away from the quarterback conversation. Like, I would rather have two really, really good, impactful defensive players drafted in the first round over taking a quarterback who you're not even going to know how good he is for another 2 years. And if in 2 years he does stink, you're in a tight situation, a bad situation, and you wasted a pick on somebody when you could have had a Joey Porter. You could have had a defensive tackle. You could have had a linebacker. So there's where I shy away from it, but I think the conversation is interesting, and I can see the rookie quarterback sitting behind Goff on a cheap contract. He can learn and develop. I love the upside of Anthony Richardson, but let's be honest, Adam, I'm having no part in the draft of quarterback or obviously a tight end, which we had earlier conversation. We agree, but I want your thoughts on Anthony Richardson because I hear Mel Kiper and talk about him. And listen, I love Mel. Mel is so wrong every year, but I still love listening to his opinion. I mean, he said Will Levis was the best player he could argue in this draft. Anthony Richardson, I keep seeing floating around, but I want your thoughts on it. Lions taking him. I mean, I don't think he'll be there at 18. I think he's going to be one of those players that kind of they heat up. He has a pro day. Teams are going to fall in love with him, but the Lions stay away from Anthony Richardson. Build that defense. Please don't do it.
Let me ask you guys this.
That's all I'm asking.
I'll tell you how I feel about it. I don't like it, but I do at the same time. The idea of drafting a quarterback and sitting him for a year behind Jared Goff is very appealing to me. I love the idea. I'm saving $25 million in a few years. I really like that idea. But what did we just talk about? Who's the second or third best quarterback in the entire NFC right now? It's Jared Goff. Not Dak Prescott. Not Carson Wentz. Not Kirk Cousins. Not Aaron Rodgers. Not Tom Brady. It's Jared Goff. If you had a top 20 defense, hell, a top 15 defense, you would have been in the playoffs right now. If you're going to take a quarterback, I don't think it's at 18. And if you think it's Anthony Richardson or Will Levis or CJ Stroud, be my guest, just take them at 6. I actually don't mind. I'm in the camp of drafting the guy to sit. Having said that, Anthony Richardson as a player, I will break it down for you. Much more arm talent than Malik Willis had last year. And I'm just using him as an example because he was all of your favorites last year.
Played in the SEC.
He played in the SEC at Florida.
He's bigger.
Dynamic ability running the ball, yes, but he's got a cannon of an arm. And down the field, he's pretty damn accurate. Now, throwing the checkdowns, the short routes, a lot of what this offense is, he struggles with. The 10 intermediate comeback, 15-yard comeback routes, the 15 digs, the 10 digs, it's not the most consistent. But like Josh Allen, that can be developed. I'm a big believer that accuracy can be developed through proper foot mechanics and proper coaching and teaching. I do believe that. Mm-hmm. So as a prospect, I don't mind Anthony Richardson. I don't hate it. But it would really break my heart if you're not able to walk out of the first round with a very good corner and another defensive player, whether it's on the interior, held the edge, or at linebacker.
And that's
it's the risk reward, right? If I take the quarterback, I then can't say we are X amount better. But then again, who knows what happens in free agency? They might fix all the problems before they get to the draft. Now, do they have the money to do that? Not realistically. And if you're going to pay a quarterback $7.5 million at pick 6 to sit a whole year,
yeah,
again, you got to prove something. And I don't think Jalen Carter's going to be there at 6. You want to take Brian Burries or whoever the hell you guys want. You can all have that conversation. We'll do that later. But if you're going to pitch me on Anthony Richardson, or any quarterback for that matter, it's got to be at pick 6, not at 18.
Yeah.
Or you're going to move up from 18, and you're going to move up to 12 or 13 and take him before somebody else does. Because I'll tell you right now, there's about 7 teams in the NFL that pick in the top 15 that need a quarterback. Pretty sure if somebody wants him, they're getting him. And that's before you pick at 18. You guys tell me. I like Richardson. I think he's intriguing, but he is a prospect. He doesn't come in and start day one. And you know, out of all the quarterbacks coming out, except Bryce Young, I'll give Bryce Young this credit. Will Levis, probably the most ready. He's played for two coordinators with NFL offenses and NFL playbooks and NFL lingo. He's already done that. And I know he looked like shit at Kentucky, but I'm just trying to explain why teams are so enamored by him. Excuse me. He's got the strength. He's got the physique. He's got the footwork. He's got all of it. He's got the arm talent. He's played for NFL coaches. He's played in NFL offensive systems. He understands it. Anthony Richardson could be Trey Lance, could be Jordan Love. Will Levis could be Josh Allen. Anthony Richardson could be the next Josh. I don't know. Nobody knows. If you're going to take him, though, just take him at 6 and relieve me of the stress and the pain.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Again, I was on board before the season with drafting a quarterback. I'm still on board, even with Goff playing this well. Why? Financially, it makes sense. And yes, if it doesn't work out, I could draft 4 quarterbacks in the top 6 for the next 4 years, and it would equal 1 year of paying Jared Goff. Annually. Not total, but annually. Think about that. What it would cost me on the books annually if I drafted a top 6 quarterback for the next 4 seasons is what it cost me to have Jared Goff on the roster right now.
Yeah.
And I love Goff right now. Playing phenomenal. Second, third best quarterback in the NFC. Optimistic future. But Brad Holmes alluded to this. He loves the idea of sitting a guy, letting them learn, and then putting them out there. Cool. This is the year to do it, because next year you're probably going to win your division and you're going to be picking in the 20s, and that's likely not going to happen, where the quarterback you want is either A, going to fall for you, or B, you're going to have to give up so much to trade up for him.
Yep.
This is the year. You got a first round pick at 18, you've got 2 second round picks, you got a third round pick. You can afford to take a quarterback at 6, and at 6 I don't really love the pick right now. I don't like anybody that's available at 6. It's either Jalen Carter or, man, trade back 3, 4, 5 spots and go grab a corner and then figure out what you want to do later. But if you're going to take a quarterback, it's got to be at 6, Jeff.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm making. It has nothing to do with Richardson and the upside. I agree with everything you said, too, about sitting a quarterback. All that makes complete sense. But you look at what the 49ers did with Trey Lance. They were in a similar position. They stunk. They had a ton of injuries. They capitalized. They traded up and got Trey Lance. So, again, I agree with you, because moving forward, you don't expect to be picking. You won't have the Rams pick anymore. You'll probably be picking closer to 20. So it's probably the year if you're going to take one. But I would argue the 49ers, when they took Trey Lance, they had a much, much more complete roster than the Lions do right now. And that's the benefit of having good players. The 49ers had a majority of their core at that time anyway, so they could take a chance on a Trey Lance. The Lions, they have a lot of holes still defensively, and that's kind of where I shy away from taking a gamble.